Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets, your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Saturday, May 1st, or not May 1st, March 1st, as we flip the calendar out of February. March Madness right around the corner, folks. Getting towards the end of the NBA season. Baseball starts later this month. Some exciting times going on here. We got a big slate of college games and NBA today. So let's get started with everything. So we get rolling across noon Eastern time frame games. Clemson at Virginia. This line's moved from 6.5 to 7.5, 133.5. This is not the old Virginia of 40 to 50 point game basketball here. They spread it out a little bit more. They're not a high prolific scoring team. Clemson, though, is a very well-rounded team offensively and defensively here. Clemson's a much better team than Virginia here, as they're definitely one of the top four teams out in the ACC. And Virginia towards the bottom four. We're going to take Clemson on the road, start this thing off. Clemson minus 3.5 first half and minus 6.5 for the game. Some other interesting games at noon. Maryland, Penn State, Penn State, UConn, Providence, Butler, Villanova. I'd call Miami and North Carolina can North Carolina actually cover 18.5 against anybody? Probably not, but we didn't play that one. We are on to the 1 o'clock Eastern game, though. We're in this one, SEC game. Auburn at Rupp Arena, Kentucky here. Kentucky getting 5.5 at home. So I think the 5 is the key number in this particular one. Auburn, I think, has a great chance to win this game here, as Kentucky's not been the Kentucky of old where they've been dominant. Auburn's probably the best team in the country, the way it looks so far. Obviously anything can happen over the next few weeks to determine who's going to win the championship. And to be really honest, the way it is this year, it's all going to be matchup based once we get to the tournament like it is every year. But we do like Kentucky in this spot plus the points. Kentucky plus 3 first half and plus 5.5 for the game. Next game up, Arkansas, South Carolina, also 1 o'clock Eastern time. Arkansas getting one on the road at South Carolina. This total's moved from 139.5 to 140.5 at a lot of books here. We do like the over in this particular one. Arkansas doesn't necessarily play great defense. They can struggle to put the ball in the basket sometimes. I have a feeling they're going to be able to put the ball in the basket here against South Carolina. They don't pose like a big defensive effort or threat on that side. Give us Arkansas, South Carolina over 65.5 first half and over 139.5 for the game. Next game up for us is going to be Kansas, Texas Tech, 2 o'clock Eastern time. Don't see Kansas many times ranked outside the top 25. This is one of those matchups, unranked team at home favored against ranked team. Texas Tech in the top 10 here. KU at home, normally a worthwhile bet anyway, but laying 4.5 in this particular spot, we like them quite a bit today. Kansas minus 2.5 first half and minus 4.5 for the game. And there's a couple more, there's some interesting other games, like the Minnesota-Nebraska game. That's a big number for Nebraska to cover 7.5, even though Minnesota is god-awful. But another 2 o'clock Eastern time frame game. Oklahoma goes to Ole Miss down to Oxford. Ole Miss favored by 7.5 roughly in this one, total at 152.5. We've taken Oklahoma at home a lot as a dog, and they've been very successful for us. They are not so bueno on the road. So we're going to take it with Ole Miss in this particular spot. Ole Miss minus 4 first half, minus 7.5 for the game. Next game up that we are working on is there are a ton of games at that 2 o'clock Eastern time frame. Not a lot of games we're in on, but a lot of games in that time frame. NC State at Georgia Tech. This is a complete fade here of NC State. Georgia Tech's NC State's god-awful. Now, they did hit some shots last weekend. It was unbelievable. They couldn't seem to miss. Georgia Tech favored by 3.5 at home. We're going to lay that number there, so give us Georgia Tech minus 2 first half and minus 3.5 for the game. And as we continue on to the next game, Alabama, Tennessee. So Tennessee, once again, they do win the game last week, but they come and bite us in the rear end on the cover and on the total. Alabama is going to run Tennessee. This game in Tennessee, 158.5 total here. Bama getting 3.5 on the road. We're going to play a total in this one. I assume Tennessee's going to make some shots because Bama doesn't really get in the way of anybody. when it comes to their defensive prowess. So give us over on the totals here. It's Bama, Tennessee over 74.5 first half and over 158.5 for the game. Another 4 o'clock Eastern time frame game. That USC Oregon's pretty interesting there. Oregon favored by 7.5. And that one, another 4 o'clock game, interesting, UCF and TCU. Nothing for us in that particular one, but a game we looked at heavily in that one. And then we will continue to get on with the games we do have. Cincinnati and Houston's another one we looked at on that one. Did make a play there at 4:30 Eastern. Same thing with Creighton and Xavier in there as well. But we did play one 5 o'clock Eastern time, and we like this one quite a bit. SMU travels to Stanford, another ACC matchup here. SMU, surprisingly enough, I mean, after they shocked the world, right, and basically went to the ACC football championship game, their basketball team's pretty damn stellar as well. Getting one here, SMU money line first half and money line for the game for us. Next game up, a team that has been very, very good to us so far this season. Vanderbilt at home, getting 2.5 against Missouri. Missouri's been playing lights out offensively, especially at home. Almost basically put up 200 points in their last 2 games at home. Going to Vanderbilt. Vandy has been tough for anybody just to completely knock out. They tend to get early leads and make you beat them rather than them give the game away. Vandy, like I said, getting 2.5 at home, 157.5 in total. We like Vandy on the money line in this one. We'll take the plus money. Vandy money line first half. Vandy money line for the game as well. Next game up for us. There's another interesting game, a couple of interesting games at that 6 o'clock Eastern. Pittsburgh, Louisville. Can Louisville be the dominant team that they could be? And then Indiana, Washington. Indiana actually favored by somebody on the road. I know Washington's played god-awful, but interesting matchup on that one in line. But we'll go to the 7 o'clock Eastern time frame window. Duke at home against Florida State. This line's a monster, 22.5. No surprise there. The one thing that we do like quite a bit in this game, and some of the books are already moving on this one, Duke, Florida State on the total. We grabbed this at 148.5 last night. It's up to 149.5, a lot of books. We like the over here. I think Duke's got a great chance of scoring damn near 90 by themselves. So if we get 60 out of Florida State, we got a great opportunity here. So give us Duke, Florida State over 70.5 first half and over 148.5 for the game. Now, let's see. Arizona State, Utah's another interesting matchup. Boise State, Fresno State, I think is another one. Oakland and Green Bay, I think, should be a decent-looking game, too. Then we get a little bit later games here. Georgia and Texas, another game. We'd really like to play Georgia plus the points here. With that big win off of Florida, though, I just think maybe there's a little bit of a letdown there on that one, so we stayed away from there. The one game we are on, 8:30 Eastern time, Texas A&M and Florida. You saw, Florida just got upset by Georgia on the road. They're back at home. This is one of the better teams in the country. I think Florida's got a really good chance, in my opinion, to make the Final Four this year. They're laying 9.5 in this spot. I don't think it's near enough against A&M. They can outscore them all day long and defensively hang with them. So give us Florida -5 first half and -9.5 for the game. And then the last college basketball game we're on, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Arizona travels to Ames. Interesting matchup here. Iowa State has laid dog doo-doo after dog doo-doo after dog doo-doo here as of late. Now they got an Arizona team that comes in actually pretty hot, and Arizona's getting 6.5 in this spot. So we're going to take the dog and the points. Arizona +3.5 first half and +6.5 for the game. Limited slate on the NBA side tonight, but that's okay. It's Saturday. We'll have a full slate for Sunday. 6 games going on tonight. First one, 6:10 Eastern time, and it's the snoozer to start us off. Wizards, Pistons. Wizards getting 4 on the road. Not Wizards, Pistons, sorry. Wizards, Hornets. My apologies on that one. 2 of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference and the league. Hopefully LaMelo's going to play tonight because that's basically where we're putting our money on that one. So give us LaMelo, 25+ points, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, 8+ assists. Mark Williams for the Hornets, 12+ rebounds as well. Like I said, should pretty much be a snoozer. Doesn't look like Jordan Powell's going to play, all that kind of fun stuff. But, definitely not the highlight game for the NBA on this Saturday night. 7:10 Eastern time. Nets, Pistons. Let's be honest about the Pistons yesterday. That was a shit show against the Nuggets. They caught the Nuggets on a second half of a back-to-back and couldn't do nothing with it. Cade Cunningham disappeared offensively. We're going to chalk that game up to a one-off, but as well as the Pistons have played, especially, over the last month. But it was definitely not fun to watch yesterday. Pistons favored by 10.5, 218.5 total. This thing was closer to 220 to start. But we do like the Pistons in this spot. Pistons -3 first quarter, 5.5 first half, 10 for the game. We're going back to Cade again, 26 plus points, 3 plus threes, and 41 plus par. That's points, assists, rebounds combined. Next game up, Kings Rockets. So the Kings, ever since this trade with Zach LaVine, if you've really looked at their scoring efforts and getting rid of De'Aaron Fox, man, is it a bunch of dudes to score between 15 and 24 points or what? They're traveling to Houston. So both these teams, Kings right now in the play-in, Rockets currently in the playoffs. The way the standings seed today, Rockets favored by 5.5 here, 228 total. Rockets at home are legit. Kings on the road have been a little bit iffy, and they're still trying to work out getting everything together. Rockets not really making any moves at all. I'm sure they tried to make a move for KD, but didn't come through on that one. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if we don't see KD in a Rockets uniform next year, just to keep that up. Anyway, we do like the Rockets in this spot quite a bit, and Jalen Green. So give us Rockets -1.5 first quarter, 3 for the first half, 5 for the game. Jalen Green, 23 plus points, 30 plus points, 6 plus points in the first quarter. 3 threes, 4 threes, and 5 threes. And then we're going Sabonis under 17.5 points, as he's not been scoring very much at all, just been rebounding a buttload. Sabonis under 4.5 points first quarter in that one. Next game up, Spurs, Grizzlies. Grizzlies still in the playoffs. The Spurs definitely heading towards the lottery pick here with no Wembanyama. It's a shame what happened there. I really would have liked to see what they could do with Fox and Wemby for the back half of the season. I don't know if they make the playoffs, but I think, a lot more interest in the Spurs. Obviously, Popovich not coaching the rest of the year either. Hopefully, Mr. Popovich is okay. One of the best coaches all time for the NBA and coaching a basketball, period. Spurs getting 9.5 on the road with the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have been a little bit of a back and forth here for the last few weeks. They were definitely the high flyers and the easy over team early in the season. That's kind of settled down. Just some player props for us in this one. Vassell for the Spurs under 16.5 points, under 2.5 threes. And then we're going to play De'Aaron Fox under 34.5 par, points, assists, rebounds combined. Next game up, 8:40 Eastern time, Warriors, 76ers in Philly. So after the 56-point performance and 12 threes from Steph in Orlando, they head up to Philly. I'm surprised they haven't figured out how to get Maxey. They're not making the play. The 76ers are not making the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make the play-in. It might be time for Maxey to have a stress fracture or something for the rest of the season. There's no reason for them to play him at this point. I mean, he's definitely going to be the focal point, I think, of their team going forward. But the Paul George experiment hasn't worked. Joel Embiid obviously shut down for the season now. Like we didn't know that was coming. I feel bad for Joel Embiid. I'm a fan of his. Like watching him play, but, he's played 50%. It's going to be less than 50% of his games overall. It's been tough. I mean, 76ers fans have got to be pulling their head, hair out of their head a lot of times. But you do have Tyrese Maxey. That's the good news here. The Warriors are favored by 8.5, 226 total in this one. This line's already moved up a point since last night. We got the Warriors -2 first quarter, 4 first half, 7.5 for the game. Maxey, we will play for 28 plus points as their scoring options are limited. Curry, we will play to have back-to-back big games. So 28 plus points, 35 plus points, and 5 plus threes. Jimmy Butler on the assist train has been good for us as well. We'll play Jimmy Butler 6 plus assists. And the last game in the NBA for the night, 8:40 Eastern time as well. Bucks travel to Dallas. Bucks are 3.5-point favorites here on the road. So I understand Dallas is, their injury run. Giannis did get to 28 points in the last game. Finally played a little bit additional minutes. 228 total in this one. The Bucks, if they're going to start making a run, the time's really now. And the Mavs are kind of in, I think, hold-on mode as they continue to. The Western Conference, dude, is so brutal. I mean, there's so many good teams, and it's hard to get wins over there. So being at home, though, you got to get this win against the Bucks, I would think. But no side or total for us. Giannis, 29 plus points. And then I know PJ Washington got a donut for us here recently. But we're going back to the well. 15-plus points, 2-plus threes, and 3-plus threes. He's been an ATM most of the season. And, guys, to be really honest, when you're playing player props in the NBA, there are going to be nights where they just get smoked. So, if they're hitting 7 out of 10 times, though, that's what we call a winner, right? So there are going to be a few bumps along the road. That was the case with P.J. Washington the other night. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat on that one, and that was just the case when he put up a whole donut with 0 for 12 from the field. All right, so we just went through a bunch of bets. How do we get a chance to take a look at all those bets? No problem at all. We got them posted in multiple spots online, TikTok, YouTube channel pages, as well at the end of every episode on YouTube. It's a link to our Google Sheets. It's docs.google.com/spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. Click on that link. Then go to the basketball 2024, 2025 tab. Once you do that, scroll down to March 1st. You'll be able to see all the bets that we made, what juice we got those at, how many units we wagered, and then also what book we placed them at as well. So get a chance to check that out when you get some time. We are a volume betting show. So in order to find all the bets, that's the easiest way to do it without having to try to write them down at lightning speed when we do an episode here. All right, so check that out when you get a minute. Also, do you like the content that you're seeing here? Like to see some more? We'd love to have you along for the ride. All you need to do is hit follow or subscribe, depending on the social media platform you're watching us on. We'll show up in your followers or subscriptions tab. And if you want to make life even simpler, turn on those notifications for that social media platform. You'll get a notification sent to your phone or device when Sports Bets for Free drops a new episode of Bets. Also, private Discord channel available for all of you out there. New to betting, novice, just want some help. If you're wagering over $100 a month, it's well worth a small investment to get on our private Discord channel. You get all of these bets early. Then we put them out for the general public. Plus, always additional ideas, well over 100 members on there as well, kind of chit-chatting back and forth. If you like talking sports wagering and sports in general, trust me, this is a spot where you want to be. Subscribe to us through TikTok at Sports Bets for Free. Once you do that, we will send you the Discord link invite, and then you just hop on there and get all the information with everybody else and get it sooner than everybody else as well. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.